it, you might see a few bumps on the way.
Sure, I think Avan, that is what we also think. The best part is we all of us do believe that the long term we are in a bull market. In the run up to that bull market, there are bound to be some corrections, and so far we have seen that the corrections have been pretty shallow, and this market, as we have been observing, and that's what we have been telling all the investors, that this market remains a buy on the dip market. So one is not very unduly worried, even if say the Nifty corrects by 100, 150, 200 points. The question is, you're still going to look for an opportunity to buy, and I think this is what probably will continue for some more time to come. Maybe in the short run we may witness some volatility in the markets, the level at which it has reached, and the kind of news that we are seeing, which is coming every day, whether it is related to judiciary or anything otherwise. So I think with all those factors, the volatility may go up in the short run. That's bound to happen. Even if there's a correction of 150, 200 points, I don't think that people are unduly worried, nor are we. So we still think that you should remain invested and look for opportunities to buy the stocks.
And indeed, we should, applaud the government, at least so far, with the steps that they have been taking, whether it's opening up FDI, revival of certain projects, or even coming down hard on certain companies within the banking sector, the Supreme Court judgment as well. So any policy-related themes that you'd bet on?
At 8,000, near to 8,000 level, I don't think we should take too much bet on the policy related at the moment. I think the broad theme is still that the GDP growth, say 2 years down the line, even if it's around 7.5% on so, I think it's all the economic stocks which are related to the growth of the GDP that will still be the focus of attention. So logically speaking, I think though it will be very safe to say that prices of the stocks are significantly ahead of the fundamentals, but still I think the capital goods sector, the infrastructure sector, the construction sector, and the power related stocks would still continue to be the ones where there will be a good amount of interest and good amount of buying, and of course wherever there is a question of discretionary spend.
Dilip, we can talk about the markets ad nauseum for a couple of hours. I've always known you as somebody who does two things. One, pick up the winners that are moving with the trend. Two, try and figure out stocks which are good to invest into for 5, 10, 15 years. And of course, it's a fluid picture, so you would always review your decisions. But the company that we're going to get up next, Astral Poly, I was just looking at the kind of performance that the stock has given over the last 5 years, some 3,400% returns or 34x returns. The company has grown in size, so on and so forth. So my question to you is, are there such Astral Polys or Symphonies or Supreme Industries in the market that you believe can be invested into right now and just held for the period of the next 4 or 5 years, if not 10 years, and people can make big money in that?
Well, I think, Neeraj, you have been very kind enough to talk about the stocks which have really gone up. But of course, we have our own share of failures also. But having said that, I think our policy now has been to go, not to get into still those undiscovered names. I think within the discovered names, there are pretty few stocks which has all the potential or all the trappings of giving a reasonably very good returns over next 2 to 3 years. I think Voltas is one of the stock which has run up, but still it is still a far cry from its previous high. And the way the things are unfolding, I think that's a stock with a very good management and with the kind of prospects. I think over next 3 to 4 years, this stock can certainly be a multi-bagger from the current levels. I think Federal Bank is another stock which probably in 3 to 4 years can become 2 or 3 times. That is the kind of potential which Federal Bank has. So I think these are two stocks that come to my mind. There's L. Balakrishnan, which is LD Balakrishnan, which is another stock which is really doing pretty well. And we still feel that though it has had a good run up, it still has a sufficient scope to give a reasonably much above average returns. This 2-3 stocks certainly is the one which one should really have a look at that.
Dilip, We had Shyam Srinivasan yesterday on the channel as well, and I was talking to him about how do the next 2-3 years look like, what's the kind of NII growth, credit growth, etc. He mentioned that there is a possibility that their credit growth could grow to the tune of 20% and NII would be the tune of 25% for the next 2 or 3 years. Is that the base assumption on which you are also evaluating Federal, or is there something else out there that we are missing?
No, I think what you say, absolutely. So all of that, plus we have a lot of confidence in this, the person at the top. And we really feel that he really has quite a good grip on the bank. A lot of cleanup has really happened. And I think going forward, both the credit growth as well as the NIMs will give a compounded impact on the bottom line, while we expect that the asset qualities will remain pretty stable.
Dilip, just a short while ago, we had an interesting conversation with the TRAI chairman also, who was fairly candid, saying that it'll still take another 8 to 9 months before we see, the telcos performing well. What's the sense that you're getting within this sector, what with Rel Jio coming in, the competition intensifying, etc.?
So very frankly, we are also a little confused about this particular sector. While I think Bharti looks pretty attractive from the current levels, but the disruptive force, as we all know, is when Reliance is really going to launch its 4G. And I think that is anybody's call at the moment, and there are all kinds of opinions in favor of Bharti and in favor of Reliance 4G. So I think we are slightly confused at how this thing is going to pan out. So I'm also not very sure how this telecom sector is really going to perform. But yes, slightly on a defensive and on a resilience basis, looking at the current market levels, I think Bharti will still be the pick of the lot.
Dilip, you mentioned 3 ideas. I spoke to you about Federal and your thesis there. LG Bala, and as you rightly said, that the stock has run up a bit. Why do you still like LG Balakrishnan?
So I think there are a couple of things where we think the growth rates over there will surprise everybody over next couple of years. And that will provide a good tailwind for continuous re-rating. I think the margins also will continue to be better. And third, I think the ROEs of the company are poised for a very dramatic improvements further. So, and I think it's a fairly free cash generating company. So I think that's one of the reasons why we really like this particular stock. Though a little illiquid, but I think that's a stock which, if one remains invested, can give a reasonable returns.
Dilip, the other one that my producer tells me you were bullish on, I think the whole world was bullish on this one, but I remember a conversation, actually my producer remembers the conversation that we had with you about Motherson Sumi. We had VC Sehgal today on the channel too, and while he hasn't given his next 5 years forecast, my question to you is simple. It was probably a 15,000 crore market cap company, which has now become a 35-40,000 crore market cap company. Does the business and the management have it within it to move up to maybe 60, 70 or 1,000 crores over the course of the next 3 years?
Neeraj, I think that was the question which, everybody was really worried about, that whether the management has it in the first place to take it right up to 20-25,000 crores. Because very few managements have really demonstrated the bandwidth and the capability to really take the companies to a different level. But what really strikes out about Motherson Sumi is that not only has the turnover shown a very consistently good growth, managing their acquisitions extremely well, but 2 important things, their ROEs, in spite of the acquisitions, continue to be very strong, upwards of around 30%. And more important, the company continues to generate a fair amount of free cash, which they are utilizing it very well to add value to the company. So so your question that whether they can take it to 55, 60,000, I'm sure it will always remain an apprehension at the back of even the most ardent admirer of Motherson Sumi. But our call broadly is that the trend has shown that they have managed it very well, and there is no reason to believe otherwise, that the growth is going to continue. And more important, with all the parameters being intact, whether you talk about the free cash, whether you talk about the ROEs, apart from the growth in the turnover.
Are you happy with the initiatives taken by the government with respect to higher FDI in defense? Do you think that the story here fundamentally is sound for some of these players?
Well, I think since this is a decision taken and the long-term implication has to be very positive for this. So I think, of course, yes, one should look at some of these companies in the defense sector without any doubt. I think they still offer a reasonably good opportunity to acquire. Of course, they need to be studied a little more closely because it is unlikely that everybody is going to benefit. Somebody is going to be hurt somewhere, but one certainly needs to take a close look at that.
By the way, before I thank Dilip, just and ask him one final question, I just want to point out Thomas Cook, if we can have the intraday of that stock, because I think it's moved up even higher. Remember, again, a stock that has been recommended today, and I think that stock is doing very well. So watch out for Thomas Cook. That stock is doing very well too in the session. Okay, Dilip, my final question to you is about NBFCs, and we've seen a slew of these dispersing to different sectors but doing very well. So a slightly large one, SKS Micro, has caught the fancy for the last 12 odd months. If it did not catch the fancy before, of course, it was a fancied stock. Then there is Capital First, and we've had the management come in. The guy heading the company needs no introduction, has done very well with ICICI and now probably doing well with Capital First. And then a number of others too, slightly smaller ones as well. What in the NBFC space interests you?
I think most certainly the one which you mentioned, not the future one, Future Capital. We haven't had a look at that particular company. But I think apart from that, Neeraj, we also like IDFC, which now is going to get converted into a bank. But more important, I think we also like Mahindra Finance, which has taken a fair amount of beating. And it is lying quite, not exactly beating, but it's quite muted in that sense. So Mahindra Finance is a stock which will be a very good play on the recovery, both for discretionary spend as well as of the economy. And I think that stock has a good potential because that's a company which is so very well managed and still continues to have a good growth potential. So I will look at that. But SKS Microfinance is something where I think a lot of the cleaning up, all those things have happened. Now with a slightly better economic outlook and improving outlook, I think it will start showing on their assets also. And I think their NIMs will also continue to be on a northward movement. So I think SKS Microfinance still looks a stock which can still give 35-40% appreciation from the current levels.
Dilip, really good having you today. Loved the discussion. Thanks so much for sharing all of those names and the investment thesis thereof. Look forward to have you more often on the show.
Always a pleasure interacting with you all.
Thanks, Dilip. Thanks for joining in. The market's still in the green. Small cap index above the kind of levels that it was trading at on Market Sense.
We managed to get in quite a few ideas from Dilip.
Oh yes, Voltas. There was, I forgot
LG Bala and
LG Balakrishna and Federal Bank. Yes, three names to talk about. Anyway, we'll take a break. In fact, wrap it up on this leg of Market Sense from Awan and myself. Thanks so much for watching. Markets at lunch will take forward the action on the other side.
We focus very much on risk, and for that, it's a function of looking at companies with really a very high corporate governance hurdle and just saying to ourselves, if we can't trust management, if we can't trust the accounts, if we can't verify the information,